Okay, welcome to this webinar on 9 steps to creating real value for your bookkeeping business. It's a summary of what I think is important for bookkeeping businesses to understand and know. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Firstly, I know many of you are on here that would know of me already, but some of you that don't, some names I'm not familiar with. So I did build a successful bookkeeping business over 15 years. I built it up from just doing it as a job, as an employee, as a contractor for many years, working from the home office. It wasn't until the last 5 or 7 years that I took it seriously, moved out of the home office, and then really changed my mindset around building the business. So I built it to over 120 clients, up to 8 staff at one stage. And, over that time, I did have many growth spurts and made many mistakes along the way, which, I'm hoping I can help you avoid those so that you don't experience, many of the same mistakes. I did engage a mentor 5 years before I sold my business, just so that he could help me clarify what I wanted, and know how to get there. So help me plan, set some goals, understand what my end game was and when that was going to be, just to make it clearer on where I was going. So I did sell my business in 2015 with a new owner taking over the staff, the office, and the established business name and all the IP. So it was a really awesome sale. It went quite quickly, and I got, I think, a good price for it. Since then, I wanted to tell my story, so I wrote a book, Grow, Profit, Exit, that showed my journey of how I grew my business and what I went through, some experiences, and I just felt as if I wanted to share my story. Writing that book made me realise that I can actually help other bookkeeping businesses grow their business and fast track their results. So that's what I'm now focusing on my energies on, assisting bookkeepers grow their successful business without, experiencing, perhaps some of the growing pains that you can experience. So let's get into it. So the 9 steps to creating real value within your business is these steps, which we'll go through each one of these. So, having a business model, planning is very critical, and it's got to be done right at the start. Just checking in with the finance side of things, so your pricing and budgeting and things like that. Having a sales and marketing strategy, and just a way of onboarding clients. We're going to know who our ideal clients are and who we're looking out for. You need to automate your systems and get your workflow management softwares up and running. Staffing, we can hire anybody that wants to come and work with us, but it's not always a good idea. So to add value to your business, you really need to have the right staff involved. Leadership, so we go into business as bookkeepers. We really don't know how to run a business, so leadership is really important. And then knowing what your exit strategy is, and perhaps when it's going to be, or at least preparing for it well in advance of a sale. So firstly, the business model, I think the first 2 modules here or sections here are really important to map out for your future business. So you need to know why you're in business. So what gets you out of bed in the morning? What is so important to you that keeps you going, even though you might, have some difficult clients or people not paying you, having some staffing issues. Why is it that you are in business? So you really want to identify that very early on and just get clear that you are a business owner and not an employee or a contractor, that you're actually running a business. So it's a mindset shift. And I experienced that when I moved out of my office, that I finally took my business seriously. So it was like I had to pay a rent, I had to pay my wage, otherwise there's no point in being business. So identifying what that why is, and for me it was to sell my business in 5 years' time. at an ideal price. So that's why I was in business. I was trying to achieve that asset that I could sell that wasn't so reliant on me. What's your vision for your business? So know you need to do a little bit of homework around this to realize what you actually want for your business. We can all go into bookkeeping business and do what we love to do, and helping clients and providing them service. But what's your vision? Like, what is it that you want to get out of your business? What is it that you are trying to strive for? Is it a business? Is it a $500,000 business? Is it a business with, 1 staff or 8 staff? Is it a business that has an office space that, it's renting, or, purchasing office space? Is it just a business that just wants to employ yourself, knowing the risks around that? What's your ideal business look like? So we want to sit back and say, okay, what's my ideal day? What do I want to do? I want to start work at 10 o'clock and I want to finish at 4. I want to work with these clients. I want to earn this amount of money. You really need to think about these things before you even get too involved in growing your business. The model is really important, because that's what you're going to aspire to. So this is like, what's going to happen in 20 years or 10 years. Like, push it right out, really extend your vision for, decades to come. You might not be in business in decades to come, but what do you want your business to go towards? Like, do that big ass goal. Dream big, focus on an end result, focus on something big, work your way to it. And that brings us to our next step, which is all about the planning. So it's really important to know where you are going in your business so that you can create some goals. So if you've got a vision for your business, which I did, was, building a $500,000 business, having some staff, having office space that I owned that I could then rent out. They were my visions for my business, but I was like a 1 staff person. I just moved into a rented office with a small amount of space. But my big ass vision was a $500,000 business with staff to run it and me not be involved. So what did I need to do to plan for that exit, to plan for that end game? So firstly, you do need to find time in your day to actually plan it out. So, you need to look at your diary. If you are working on your clients for 30, 40, 50 hours a week, there is no way that you are going to be able to find time within those hours to work on your business. You need at least a half a day a week to work on your business, on your systems, finding out what you want in terms of, your vision and your goals and your clients, etc., everything we're going to go through today. You need time to do that. Otherwise, you're going to continue working those 50, hours a week, every week, and not move forward. You're just going to get in that same Groundhog Day and, just repeat the same stuff over and over again. So once you know where you're going, find some time in your week, because as I was saying, if you're working 50 hours a week and you've got client work, which might be 70 hours a week, you know what I mean? You only have so many hours a week to charge out, but your clients and everything else that you want to do is in excess of what you're able to handle. So it's just not going to work. So you need to set realistic expectations around the work that you're going to do in a week. And then you need to find some time to work on your business, as I say, so you can start working on those goals. So set some long-term goals. So in 5 years' time, I do want, a $300,000 business. I want 2 staff and I want to be out of my home office. So then what are your short-term goals to achieve that? So it might be the first year I need to get $80,000 or 100,000 sales. To do that, I'm going to need a half a staff member. So then break it down further into these action steps to achieve those goals. So we're going to go down to, what do I need to do in 90 days to achieve that $100,000 result? okay, 90 days I need to achieve sales that are going to, be around 30,000 in 90 days. And I know that I need a staff member to help me fulfill this work to reach the 100,000. So, you need to do some homework around your figures, like how many hours do you work? Say you work 20 hours chargeable, times that by the rate that you charge or the income that you're getting in. Are you able to get $100,000 just earning by yourself? If not, then you need a staff member. So then we set some goals around what staff member you need. So the point here is, firstly, know where you're going, set some goals, set some, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year goals. Break the 1 year goals down into 90-day goals. Break that further down into some action steps to achieve. So in 30 days, I need to do this. In 14 days, I need to do this. In 7 days, I need to do this. The next step or the next module around this is around your finance. So really know what your finance is. So with this, I mean, what's your pricing? So with your business model, you get an idea of what your pricing method should be, what you're going to be comfortable with. Now, we all know that we can either charge hourly, we can put a fixed rate to it, or we can do value pricing. So think about what your business model is. Am I wanting to just do a lot of review work, do some business advisory stuff, create some value for my clients? Then create your pricing model around that. Whether it is, you're doing this amount of bookkeeping, but I'm going to give you this business advice for this value. But if you're not quite at the stage, the maturity of value pricing, you might want to drop it just down to fixed pricing and know that, I'm going to get $500 a month and it's going to include all of this type of work. So know what your pricing method is. And we can talk some more in future webinars about, value pricing and fixed pricing. Create a profit and loss layout for management reporting. So it might not be the profit and loss layout that you're going to present to the accountant or even the tax office, but put a wage in there for yourself. Your business has to pay yourself a wage. And what is that wage going to be? Is it what you are drawing out of the business at the moment as drawings? Treat it as an expense for now. Put it into the profit and loss layout. I used to put it down below the net profit, just so that I could show my husband that, okay, my income is this amount of money, but I've taken this amount out, and I'm still profitable. So I can now take out, I used to start with saying $400 a week, and then I got up to $1,000 a week. So you want to know that you are a cost to the business. The business has to pay you back. And, we all know that we might not get what we deserve out in the market straight away, but you need the mindset to know that your business is going to afford a wage and it's going to increase that wage every year. You are not just going to get what the leftovers are, because then that's your mindset that you only deserve the leftovers. You need to say, I want a $80,000 wage or a $50,000 wage or a $120,000 wage. Put it into your management reporting in the P&L layout and in your budget. So set some budgets, review your results regularly, and gives you a focus of where you are wanting to go. So if you have a goal of $100,000 in the next 12 months, then you need to budget for that. So every month, put in a figure of what you need to achieve. Review it every month. I used to review it just before the end of the month to see if I was on target. And then I would go into overdrive almost. Like I'd be aware that, okay, I'm not going to achieve the budget this month. What do I need to do to pick that up? Do I need to go out and get another client? Do I need to bring some more work in so I fix that budget? So it just focuses you a little bit more closely to what your goals are. So you're going to align your goals with your actions. Now, the next important thing to recognise and to do some work on to add value to your business is around your sales and marketing. So, excuse me, know who your competitors are. Now, I used to find I wasn't too concerned about my other competitors, the bookkeeping businesses around me, because there were so many clients, there was so much work out there. I was very confident in what I provided and what I did. So I wasn't concerned about the competitors that were around there. But know who your competitors are, know their locations, find out a bit about them. So what their services are, what they charge, how they run their business, or how they, do their, how they receive money. Look a bit about their business model, so that you can find your point of difference to the other competitors. So if a small business client, is going to go and Google bookkeeping in their area, who are they going to find? And why are you different to all those other people? So although I wasn't scared of the competition, I knew I was different for a certain amount of reasons. And one of them was, I've come from a tax accountant background. So, the client was getting, they weren't getting tax advice, obviously, but they were getting somebody that knows what a tax accountant wants and is looking for. So that was one of my point of differences. It also became, because I was quite a large practice, I guess, in 5-7 years ago, that it was different to bookkeepers that were just sole operators. So that was another one of my point of differences, that I could, sell to a client. I have a business, I have several staff. If one of them goes sick, you can contact another one. There's always somebody in the office that can answer calls, that can, do anything that you require. So that was one of my point of differences. So find out what your point of differences is. One of my clients that I'm working with at the moment, her point of difference is that she is just about to run off on a boat. So her lifestyle is going to be her point of difference, her remote bookkeeping, her remote services, and, especially around the lifestyle. So if her clients are aspiring to the same type of lifestyle, that they can really relate to it, then they would be attracted to her business. You might have, a niche that's your point of difference. You might be within an industry or a certain size business, whatever it is, that's your point of difference to other businesses. And we're going to market and sell towards that. Also know who your ideal client is and what their pain points are. So when you're looking for your ideal client, it also comes back to your business model. So if your business model is you just want one staff and you don't want a lot of bookkeeping, you're just going to be doing business review stuff, well, then you don't want the mum and dad bookkeeping businesses. You don't want the construction workers. You might want a niche in the professional services or the hospitality. So, if you have a niche, well, then that makes it really clear. But your ideal client might be somebody that is, over 50, is, growing their business and they're proactive in their business. Or, they might be 30 years of age. So they might be, have more awareness of IT and really involved in their business and in growth and in new ideas and innovation. So just think about who the client is that you want to work with, and list down all the attributes about that client so that you can target them when you are networking or doing some marketing, or just talking to the person down the street or the shop down the street. That shop might not be your ideal client, but when you're talking, you are more aware, more focused on who you want. And if you know their pain points, well, then you're going to target those pain points. Are they wanting a lifestyle? Are they wanting to have some integrity in their figures? If they're wanting to grow, maybe they want a cash flow, or so know what their pain points are so that you can sell towards that. And network clients. If you are growing, if you are wanting more clients, and you are not getting them from referrals and, you know, the organic method, then you need to go out and network. So go out to, you know, your local council, you know, meetups in your area. There are, you know, entrepreneurial meetups. You know, there are the traditional ones like the BNI or the networking groups around with small businesses. So get out and talk to people. Now, you're not always selling in these network environments, but you are focusing on your ideal client. And if you come across an ideal client, well, then maybe you'd like to organise a one-on-one with them. So always be aware of who you're talking to, what you're talking about, you know, the talk that you are doing. Make sure that it is related to your business model and the clients that you are trying to focus. Okay, the next one is all about the clients themselves. So now that we have some idea of, you know, who the client is, then we want to automate the whole process. So we want a scoping document and quoting documents as well around your ideal client. So you might have questions you want to ask your client that sort of suggests, are they the right client for me? So again, you need to go back and do your homework, write out a list of scoping, and, you know, we do it every time we meet a client. We know exactly what we need to ask them. So put it in a document, automate it, then we can, you know, hand that over to an admin staff or somebody else that can do the automation and onboard them. So we want to also automate the onboarding process. So, you know, we've got our document, it's totally filled out, consistent with every other client. Hand it over to somebody, you know, hopefully you can engage an admin person to put that through the system. Add it to your database, add it to your logins, adding it to, you know, your workflow management software, setting up your jobs and all that. You also want to rate your existing clients. Now, I know a lot of bookkeepers out there are pretty much accepting any client because they're after work and, you know, the money, and they just need the work to, you know, perhaps to provide to other staff members and those type of things. So, but they might not be your ideal client. So you might want to rate your existing clients from an A to a D, so from an awesome to a dead client. Get rid of those dead clients. So if you can identify ones that don't appreciate you, that don't pay you on time, that don't provide you with the information, that, you know, you just generally don't enjoy working with, then get rid of them and replace them with your ideal client. So it's okay to get rid of those bad clients. Good clients, if you know who they are and you focus on them, they will come. So it's okay to let some of them go. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is creating automated systems. So we want to set up a workflow management software. So I think this is really critical for bookkeeping business, that you need to automate your processes. So we want to have online software that is going to put all of your database into, so that it gets out of your head. You don't want to be remembering all the information about your client. You need to put it into a system that that you can scale with, that when you engage staff, that they don't need to keep asking you questions. They're just going to be going to that software and know the answers. So whatever it is that you know about your client, put it down on a document, put it down into a management online software. And there's a few of them out there, like I do train in Zero Practice Manager, but there's the Carbon, Asana, Insightly. There's a few online softwares that do suit bookkeeping businesses. So I do recommend that you get off Excel or writing bits of paper down, making lists of things that need to be done and who they need to be done for, or your whiteboard. So ideally, look at a software and implement a software. Document and automate every process that you do. So if you are, we start with onboarding a client, so we're going to document and process everything you do there. Maybe if you do a review on a Xero or MYOB file or whatever software you choose, document what you do. Put down your checklist. Even for individual clients, the bookkeeping that you do for individual clients, create your checklists for them so that everything is out of your head. This is the only way that you're going to be able to scale, is to get everything out of your head, because my recommendation is that you move off the books as much as you can. So you get to a stage where you no longer charge a bookkeeping rate. You only work at a consulting rate. So you have bookkeepers working at the bookkeeping rate, but you put your price up to the extent where you no longer do data processing. And it will take you some time. It might take you a few years to get there, but that is the flow that we need to get to, is work yourself out of a job. So by automating every process, getting everything out of your head, and again, this doesn't happen quickly. It's going to take some time in writing up a checklist for every staff member. If you're doing a BAS or some compliance work, write up a checklist of what you do for that one, and make it stick. Like, there's so many times that I wrote up checklists and I'd forget where I'd filed them, or I'd deleted them, or whatever USB I put them on. And it wasn't until I engaged a workflow management software or implemented a software system that I felt secure that everything was out of my head in the one place that was safe, accessible by my staff, and I could continue to tweak and evolve with, but it was a start. It just got me off the manual process, off the, waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, did I do this, or has so-and-so checked this bit? So if it's in the system, then you can go back in and check your checklists and so on. So everything you do, even when you're putting a staff member on, automate that process. So here is the list of questions you're going to ask them. This is what you're going to assess them with. This is the advertising you're going to use. This is how you're going to ask them the questions. Onboarding a staff, exiting a client, everything we do over and over again, put it in a document or a checklist so that it's automated. And when you get to a stage where you can engage an admin person, and it might only be 10 hours a week, then they can manage all of this, and you can get off the books and go find more clients, work on your business, and really, create that business that you can sell and scale and, make it profitable, maximize the profits. That's what we're all about. We don't want to sit here doing 30 hours a week and only getting paid for 20, writing clients' work off, all of that stuff that does get involved in all of the mistakes that we do at the start. Find some other tools also that are going to aid your automation. So things like, Receipt Bank or HubDoc, direct debit systems, IntegraPay, excuse me, IntegraPay or Easy Debit for your payments, Practice Ignition, whatever it is that you choose, go out and find some tools to aid your automation. So if you have a issue, if you have a challenge, if you've got a blockage in your business, find out how to automate it. Go find, even if you don't know how to do it, find somebody that knows the answer. So don't be afraid to go out and find people that can help you. Contract out for, a couple of hours. Get other people to do some work for you. Outsource it. Whether it's in Australia or overseas, it does not matter. Outsource some of your work and get the stuff done. Otherwise, you won't get it done, believe me. And you'll get more frustrated, and you will stay in exactly the same position you are now in 6 months' time if you don't move on. Staff. So I think in growing a business and in having a business that you can sell, you need staff. If people are buying your business, they're not going to want to buy you being dependent, being the person that, the clients and the business is dependent on. We're going to need to have staff there to help you grow and scale. So the hardest thing that I found was knowing when to hire. So I'm busy, can't afford to put a staff member on in my mind, but I don't exactly know when to hire. I've got extra work, but I don't have enough work for that staff member, and I don't want to hand over my work because I want that money. It was a catch-22. So you have to know when it is time for your business to hire, and it's usually going to be before you actually want to do it. So you have to just trust in your business and in yourself and hire before you can fully keep them to capacity. But it's important to hire the right person. So not just when to hire, but who to hire. So be really aware of what you need in your business. I would always go for somebody that I'd never put a full-time person on. They were always part-time. Admittedly, some of them were 30 hours. But when I hired, it was a mixture of contractors and employees, but it was that they had some more flexibility. I didn't keep them to their full capacity. If they wanted 4 days a week, I might give them 3 days or 3.5 days. So it was that mixture of just, keeping them just under the hours so that when I got busy or I got a new client in, then I can up their hours. I'd also go for a mixture of skills and experiences and qualifications. So I had a mixture of no quals right through to people that did have a diploma in accounting, people that knew QBO or other softwares that I didn't know, people that were good at advanced Excel and flow charting. And also personality. So, there were personalities there that just were worker bees. They did not want to be involved in advising clients or doing the consulting. They just wanted to put their head down and do the work. And that was fantastic because in a busy bookkeeping business, you need people that are willing to just get in and just do the data processing and the work. And then you need another level of person to help you do the reviewing and supervising and consulting. So it depends where you are in your business, and what you need in your business is who you are going to employ. And I do have worksheets around how to do this, to identify who they are and how to do it. You also want to delegate quickly. I found there was a client that came on. It was quite a big client, a bit of rescue work. It was a bit of a mess. I didn't have a staff member available at that time to delegate the work over to. So what I did, I held it to myself. I gave staff little bits, like you do the AP, you do the bank reconciliation. So I was giving different staff bits of it and over a period of time. So if this staff had a few hours this week, just put this stuff in for me. And then, I'd get somebody else to do this to it. So it was all bitsy. It was never, it wasn't efficient. It wasn't effective. So, and this went on for months until the client just got very cross that I hadn't solved her problem. I hadn't got the figures up to date when she wanted them. And she left in a very, she was very disgruntled, obviously, because I hadn't, given her much custom service. So I was devastated to have let a client down. And that's because I recognised I didn't delegate it quickly enough. If I had handed that job over to a staff member, then they could have managed it within their workload and got stuff done around, what they were doing. So it was important to recognise that you cannot do it all. It's not all for you to do. So find, if you've got staff or outsourcing it, if it's, a lot of my bookkeeping clients that I'm mentoring, that they don't have the ability to, do some Xero setups and do the bookkeeping they're wanting to do and do some rescue work. So I do recommend outsourcing it. If there is too much going on and you don't have the staff at the moment, rather than letting it go or disappointing the client, and because if you've identified they're your ideal client and you do want it, then, outsource some of the work. So you want to delegate it, control it, give them, a scope, what they need to do, etc., and get it done. You also want to assess your staff results. So, set some KPIs around your staff. So you'll always find staff, they're either good at some things, not so good at other things. So just keep some KPIs around what's really important to you, what they really need to achieve, whether it's around productivity, profitability, their timing, entering information into their, your timesheets, those type of things. So keep some KPIs and assess them regularly. I'd suggest every 6 months, probably every 3 months when you've just engaged them, just to make sure that they are on track and doing the right thing. But it's important to, assess these results. And this is a bit around your finance as well, and assessing your profitability on things. Okay, so the next one, and I've kept this a little bit later in the section, even though a lot of probably mentors would, or coaches would, put it up right at the start. Leadership mindset, it's really important to know, change your mindset so that you are a leader. As I mentioned before, we go into business wanting to provide excellent bookkeeping service to our clients, providing them with solutions and assist them in growing their business. So we're good at what we do, but we actually don't go into business knowing how to run a business. We can advise clients about, we recognise what's going wrong in their business, or, how they should be doing different things, but we don't actually do it for ourselves. So it's really important to change that mindset that you are, from this day forward, you are running a business. You are no longer a contractor. You are no longer an employee mindset. You are running a business. So in that, you do need to be realistic around your expectations. Don't expect that you can do 60 hours of work in your 30 hours that you've got available. So I find one of the things that I do with my mentoring clients is work out what their ideal diary is for a week, what are the hours that they want to work, and then talk to me about the hours that you actually do work. And, in that ideal diary, what are the things that you want to do? What are the things that you need to do for your business success? As in, you do need to get off the books for half a day so you can work on your business. So if you factor that in, then you are not going to be able to do all of the work that you currently do. And I find it's quite eye-opening to realise that, okay, I've got this amount of clients and they want this amount of hours per month. That is 20% more than what I actually can do. So you've got to be realistic with what you are trying to achieve. You've got to check in with your business and assess your profitability and your key performance indicators. So whether it's, how much wage you are taking, you want to check in that you're taking a wage. Otherwise, why are you in business? If you are providing an excellent service to your clients, you're doing the right thing by them, you're giving them a really good price, you're writing time off because you don't feel as if you should charge for that, just check in with that. Like, just, why are you doing that? You need to be profitable, and you need to take your wage out. Your staff need to be productive, so they need to have a productivity rate, whether it is 80%, 90%. Your clients need to be profitable, so if you're going onto the fixed fee or value pricing, you need to check in that you are doing the work in a timely manner, that you are keeping to compliance deadlines, and if you're not, find solutions for what you need to do around improving that key performance indicator. So it's not just a matter of setting a KPI around what you're doing at the moment. Set it to a point where you've got to achieve it. So whether it is even your budget, your target, your gross sales target, whatever it is, just set it a bit higher than what it is at the moment, and try, and you've got to go towards achieving those things. But as long as you've got a little checklist, it might only be 5 or 6 things. Yep, profit's good this month. I've got my gross sales on target. Maybe the staff's productivity is a bit down, so find out why, see if you can improve it. Also know both your client and employee, the satisfaction levels that they have. Are you getting feedback from your clients to say that, this isn't being done on time? Are they whinging about something? Are you providing them with the very best service you can? Are you wowing them? Are they telling you are wowing them? Just check in with your clients and also your employees. I used to have 6 weekly meetings, doing some training with the staff, but also going and have a coffee with them and just checking in with their morale. Are they happy with what's going on in the office? Are they happy with the business at the moment? Or the clients, the work that they're doing, the hours that they're doing, how do they feel? Is there areas that they would like to get into? So, I had a staff member that was happy enough doing the bookkeeping, but she really loved to do training. So we retwigged the business so that I'd go out and find some more training. I'd start focusing on the training side of things because she really loved to do that. So it gave her a sense of satisfaction because, she was doing work that she loved. So she's going to be more loyal to you as well because you are providing what they want as well, the satisfaction, improving their working life as well. Okay, so the last one is around the exit strategy. So although many of you probably are not planning on exiting maybe anytime soon, but you will exit. It is inevitable. And what I suggest is that you prepare for your exit sooner than later. So you want to at least have 3 years before you do exit. So if you are planning on exiting in 3 years, you need to start now in preparing for that. But when I was planning for my exit, it wasn't though I was going to sell my business in 2015. I didn't know 5 years earlier or even 1 year earlier. There was no plan to sell it, but I wanted to have my business ready in 2015 for a sale or a passive income so that I had a choice. So we encourage our children, if you like, to do well in school so they can have choices at the end of the day, so they can choose their uni and their degree, their courses they want to do. So it's very similar to your exit strategy. So if your business is ready in 5 years' time, that you have, you've done your planning, you don't know your vision, you're only engaged with your ideal clients, you're totally automated, you are no longer being dependent, the clients are not dependent on you, they are going straight to your staff or their answers and their work, and, the conversations are going there. They don't need to come to you day to day. Then you can sit back and say, okay, do I want to sell this year? If something might have come up that you're ready to go out. So at least you are prepared. It is ready to go. It is, fully automated, independent. Everything's set up so somebody else can walk into it. So that's how I say, work yourself out of a job. And that's what, we're trying to achieve in building up your bookkeeping business, is work yourself out so that you are not reliant on. So my the 5 years that I engaged my mentor before I sold my business, it was all about achieving that, that business, that level, the staff, me not working in it, so that, I could walk away. But you also need to think about who you are going to sell it to. Who is the ideal person you want to sell it to? Now, I had in my mind it was going to be an accounting firm, because if I've got over 120 clients, then that accounting firm has got 120 possible clients that they can sell other services to. So even though, I'm just doing bookkeeping, obviously you've got finance and estate planning and mortgage broking and obviously tax. There are so many services that tax accountants provide to their clients that if they were to be, to buy 120 clients that they can on-sell, it is so much more value to them than, just a bookkeeping business, I guess. But so that was my thought. I was going to sell it to an accounting firm. But also I could have sold it to a very good business person, somebody that can walk in as a leader, as a, entrepreneur or a business owner, and manage the staff, because the staff manage the clients. I no longer manage the clients. They manage their own workflow and their client work. I had very little involvement. I had an admin staff overviewing the lodgements, making sure that it was all done on time. I had, the staff were either doing compliance reviews, like BAS reviews, or I had an accountant at one stage overseeing all of that stuff. So when it came to me, I was only reviewing it for 15 minutes. So we'd had so many tweaks out of it. We'd, trained the staff what they need to be looking for. So if a business person was to come in and just be involved in managing the staff, having a relationship with the clients, onboarding new clients, doing the marketing, just, operations manager, running the business, well, then that was another option as well. So that's where I wanted to get to. So I have done quite a bit of talking. So are there any questions that you would like to ask of me before I get into the couple of offers that I do have? I should have mentioned earlier that you could post any questions up there if you wanted to. So let me know if you've got any questions about, any of the content that we've talked about today. I'll keep going while anybody is posting up any questions. So, okay. So I've got a couple of offers for you today. All right. So the first offer is a 30-minute coaching session. So you can choose the topic. So we've gone through 9 different topics really in this session. So you choose the topic if you want to talk about staffing or exiting, around your clients. So it's a 30-minute coaching session valued at $165, today only for $47. And it's give you a bonus, my ebook of Grow Profit Exit, which is the book that I finished in 2016. So there are limited sessions, and I will post up the link now. Let me just bear with me while I post up the link for. It will also be sent out in an email. Let me just paste it in there. Okay, so I've popped it into the chat box. There's a link for PayPal to purchase that, and also a link to the calendar to book a time with me. Just if you let me know if you can see that. As I said, there will be an email going out shortly with the links as well. Can you actually see that in the chat? Oh, great. Thanks, Shelley. Awesome. So there's links there for that. Okay. So as I said, limited sessions. If you can purchase that within 24 hours, but you've got 30 days to make the appointment. If we can't find an appointment, I might extend that 30 days depending on what my calendar looks like also. You can email me if you wanted to chat about that also. Awesome. Okay, now I've got a couple of questions, so let me just go back to the questions. Elizabeth, with client levels, if A is awesome and D is dead, what are the names for B and C? So B is basic. Basic as in they do the right thing, but they're not awesome. So an awesome client is somebody that might refer you. A B is basic, that they provide you with the information and they pay you. C is can do without. So if somebody is a little bit niggly, about the pricing or don't provide you with stuff, they might be a C. So if you want to rate your clients from A to D, get rid of the D, which are the dead, and then try and improve on the C client. So, make them, work with them to become a B client, which is, somebody that is providing you with the information and payment on time. And then you work with the B clients to make sure that they are awesome. All right, Kylie has asked a question. It's a big shift in mindset to go from job to a business owner. Having you as my mentor is helping me make that shift. The work involved seemed overwhelming at first, but chunking it down and attacking it in stages makes it manageable. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, Kylie. That's awesome that you're on the call today, and thanks for that that testimonial, if you like. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Yes, it is. It is a big thing, the mindset. If you can, you just need to work on realizing it's no longer a job. You're running a business. You deserve to earn a wage. So your business needs to pay for that. You need to be responsible for the work. And, what we do in both the course that I'm running and mentoring is looking at what we say above and below the line. So you need to be responsible for what you're doing and not I won't do it now because it'll go too long and I don't have the slide up to reinforce what I'm saying. But above the line, you've got to work above the line. You've got to be responsible for what you're doing and realistic. And below the line is trying not to be in denial and trying not to blame people. So it's a mindset thing that, and it is almost like a switch. You have to take your business seriously. You have to think of it differently. And you might think that you are, but still giving away your time and your money and, accepting, writing off stuff or not charging stuff. So it's, you still haven't quite got it yet. So, yeah. Anne has asked, is it possible to get a copy of the presentation sent for us for reference? Yes, Anne, you will get a copy of this webinar recording. It'll probably come through tomorrow. But yes, everyone will get a copy of it, and I'm going to send an email out with those links if anyone is interested in jumping on and getting some coaching. I'm also happy to do a 15-minute chat if anybody wants to talk about the services that I do provide, the mentoring, and I'm going to come into our second offer in a minute. Let me just jump over there. Okay, so the second offer is around the course that I am running now. So Bookkeeping Business Mastery course, it's been around now since May. I've had 40 people going through it at the moment, which is awesome. People are loving it. I'm getting great testimonials. It goes through, it's a 10-module course, so it goes through all the topics that we talked about today in, how we can add value to our business and just create that business that we want to work in, that we love, and that we, and it's a healthy business. It gives you a healthy lifestyle. So the course has 10 modules. We only went through 9 steps. So I break up systems and workflows into, that's why there's an extra module in the course, because I go through that one a bit more in detail. I also actually give you the Xero Practice Manager video that I sell, so that's included in the course as well. So this is the inside of the portal. You get invited into here and you work through the modules. So each one of these modules, and I'll just click through, has a bit of an introduction, so you can see the modules through here. So there's an introduction video, and then each one of these lessons has a video and some downloads, worksheets, templates, all of that information in there, so you can see all the topics in there. It also includes implementation calls, which are fortnightly 1-hour live webinars, a bit like a Q&A if you like. If there are no questions, I will either encourage somebody to tell me what their challenges are and we'll go through it, or I will just do general mentoring in a group environment on a webinar just like this. So we'll pick up a topic. Bookkeepers can join the course at any time. There is no set time to start it. You have 12 months access to the course and to my fortnightly webinars if you join currently. So you've got access, so it's self-paced pretty much. The modules will drop in on a fortnightly basis so that you're not overwhelmed. So each fortnight you'll get another module dropping in of which you can work through. Bring your questions to the webinar, and I'll just show you inside one of the lessons, which is lesson 2 under the staffing module. What staff do I need? There is a recording, a PowerPoint recording, and then the opportunity to download the worksheets and templates that I've spoken about. So that's available for you to take advantage of as well. So I'll just jump into here. So this is the second offer. So the Bookkeeping Business Mastery course, which is an online program, self-paced, gives you 12 months access to the online portal with the recordings and the templates. A new module available each month, or I did say fortnightly. So 10 modules in total will drop in. And you have 12 months access to me via the fortnightly live webinars and access to a private Facebook group. So there's 12 monthly installments of $135 per month, which is awesome value. So you're getting all of the templates and the modules, the recordings and my mentoring in a group environment, and the live webinars to come to with Q&A, and the Facebook group to support each other and ask each other questions and so on. For this webinar today, I'm offering a first bonus with this course is a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself, just to check in with you, find out what your challenges are, how the course is going to help you, and just to get to know each other as well, and also the ebook Grow Profit Exit. So let me just drop that into the chat box as well. There we go. So let me know, can you see that in there as well? Just checking that you can get. Oh, great. Thanks again, Shirley. Awesome. So that's for the course, and if you buy it within the next, or jump in and purchase that within the next 24 hours, I will also send out a calendar link for a one-on-one coaching call with myself, and you will also get an email with the Grow Profit Exit book. So they're the offers for being on the webinar today, registering for the webinar. So the recording will go out tomorrow. This email will go out to registrants now or today to allow them to get hold of these two offers. All right. So let me just have a look at any other questions. So we're just out of time, but what LMS are you using for the course? LMS. LMS. Can you extend what LMS is? But the portal, what's the portal software, is LearnDash. So it is pretty awesome. Let me just see if I can go back. So if I go back to the start here where the course is, you can tick off when you have done modules so that you don't redo them, and even lessons. I do have other courses. I've got the Zero Practice Manager course in this portal as well. And yeah, so it does work really nicely with this. As I say, I should have actually put up a couple of testimonials. I've had some great testimonials. I am so pleased because this is my little baby. This is all me. So you can see how far you're going with the course progress. I can also see how you are going with the course progress as well. You tick off your lessons so that you know what you've done and what, if you jump into a model and say, okay, I can't remember which lessons I've done, then you can go into the ones that you haven't done as yet. So, you've got that tracking mechanism as well. Yeah, so is there any other questions around any of that? I might. Oh, error detected. That's not so good. That's for the bookkeeping course. Let me just see. Let me just go, because I had something in the way. I had the question box in the way. Let me see if I upgrade it again. Let's just see if that works. If I open it up, it should work. I'm just testing it. It's loading. Yeah, that's there. It's a PayPal. So it opens up into this screen once you go onto that PayPal button for the course, and then just log into your PayPal, and it will just be a direct debit out of your PayPal. So if you want to give that another try with the second one, but I will send those links to you in an email that will go out shortly. All right, thank you for that, Anne, for letting me know. Okay, so was there any questions around the content of today? Is there anything else that I can help you with? Oh, awesome. Thanks, Anne. I'll also send out a link for those that are in the webinar or registered. If you do want to take up just a 15-minute chat about how I can assist you, if you're interested in any of the services that I do provide, the Zero Practice Manager, the mentoring, want to chat about the course, obviously I'm happy to have a chat to you before you jump in and buy, if that's what you would like to do. So, so thank you for attending. Appreciate it. And I hope you got a lot out of it. I'd love to hear some feedback, so happy for you to shoot me an email and let me know what your challenges are at the moment, how I can help you. If you're not already a member of the Facebook group, jump into my Facebook group, Bookkeepers HQ, and I hope you find some value from it. Thank you so much. Thanks, Elizabeth. Considering the course awesome. You're welcome, Margaret and Shirley. Thanks very much. Awesome. Thanks, Kylie. Deirdre, lovely to have you on. You'll receive the recording over the next 24 hours.